From the creative and resourceful minds at Mezalick Design Studio comes a tale filed under oddities and curiosities, where old-world artistry meets modern precision, and a powerful digital tool, Vectric Aspire, becomes the unlikely hero in a faithful replication of a set of truly extraordinary stained glass windows. Where craft meets purpose, the story begins here. In 1925, architects Edward P. and Grant M. Simon were commissioned to design a soaring new headquarters for the recently established Fidelity Philadelphia Trust Company. The result would become the tallest skyscraper in Philadelphia at the time, and the 9th largest office building in the world. Construction commenced in 1927 and was completed in 1928, an impressive 1 month ahead of schedule, by the firm of Irwin and Leighton. Rising 405 feet, this formal and monumental classical structure is clad in limestone and granite, presenting a commanding yet refined presence. Inside, the building reveals an extraordinary richness of detail, with bronze, marble, glass, and limestone woven throughout its interiors. The crowning feature is the 2.5-story banking hall, finished in cream-colored terrazzo marble. The exterior is lavishly detailed, its grandeur immediately announced by 9 imposing sets of bronze doors that anchor the entrances. Each door is a work of art in itself, adorned with 24 finely modeled bronze figures that trace the unfolding story of civilization and commerce. An intricate narrative cast in metal, rich with symbolism and craftsmanship. Above the portals, luminous leaded glass windows glow in layered shades of amber, their warm tones set within elegant Renaissance-style borders that add depth and refinement to the facade. Crowning the 3 primary entrances are 6 commanding sculptured figures, posed with dignity and strength, representing industry, thrift, abundance, and art. Together, these elements create a harmonious composition, an architectural statement of prosperity, progress, and cultural aspiration. This is where our part of the story begins. Once selected, our studio turned first to the careful and methodical work of documentation, the essential foundation of a long and intricate process. Before a single piece of glass could be removed or restored, public records were thoroughly examined, historic references traced, and every visible detail measured, photographed, and recorded. Research revealed that the windows were designed and fabricated by the distinguished DiCenzo Studios of Philadelphia, a firm renowned for its extraordinary craftsmanship and innovation in stained glass artistry. These windows are remarkable not only for their scale and artistry, but for their distinctive construction. Each panel is adorned with sculpted, embossed lead overlays and enriched with warm brilliance of 23-karat gold leaf, carefully applied to heighten the texture, depth, and luminosity. With history uncovered and conditions documented, the groundwork was laid, allowing us to move forward with clarity, respect, and a deeper understanding of the masterpiece entrusted to our care. Now, let us step behind the scenes and take a closer look at the meticulous art of documentation, the quiet beginning of preservation. This careful process ensures that important information is not lost to time, deterioration, or restoration efforts. Beyond preservation, documentation also guides informed decision-making. It supports accurate conservation treatments, protects historical integrity, and provides future researchers artisans, and historians with trustworthy reference material. In many cases, the documentation itself becomes part of the historical record, serving as a bridge between the past, present, and the future. Originally crafted using age-old metal forming techniques, where sheets of lead were patiently shaped over hand-carved dimensional models, we turn instead to the precision of modern digital 3D scanning. To begin, a two-part silicone putty, mixed in a simple 1-to-1 ratio by volume, was applied to the surviving lead overlays, with a working time suitable for careful placement and a cure time of just 20 minutes. The material captured every contour and subtle relief with remarkable fidelity. From these molds, plaster casts were produced to create accurate, positive three-dimensional models. Each cast was then scanned using high-definition laser technology, preserving the original design intent and safeguarding the minute details that might otherwise be lost. The resulting scans generated exact digital files in the STL format, precise, measurable, and ready to advance to the next stage of the restoration process. The process of creating the lead overlays continued with the fabrication of custom wooden forms used to shape the metal. After importing the STL files generated from the scanned plaster cast, I carefully developed the necessary toolpaths to ensure accuracy and precision. In those instances where the original lead overlay was severely damaged and a silicone mold could not be made, I turned to the Vectric software and created my own. Using the components and vectors, I generated a 3D model that looked very similar to the original. Again, once I was happy with the shape and the contours, I created the necessary toolpaths, generally a pocket toolpath and a finish toolpath, to render exactly what I wanted out of my wooden block. Once I was confident the molds would perform as intended, I ran the program on my CNC machine. The finished wooden forms emerged exactly as planned, faithfully capturing every contour and detail required for the next stage. Excitement grew at the studio seeing the finished product from the CNC machine. With the molds complete, a sheet of lead was secured over the carved forms. Using a spring-loaded ball-bearing plunger, I adjusted the Z height slightly higher and ran the file again. My spindle was turned off in this case. As the machine moved across the surface, the ball bearing rolled smoothly over the undulating contours, pressing the lead into the recesses and recreating the intricate relief with remarkable fidelity. After a small amount of trimming, the replicated lead overlays were complete and ready for the next step in the process. This section of the video deals with the fabrication and gold leafing of the stained glass panels needed. The craft of cutting glass is rather old. A simple steel wheel is used to scratch the surface of the glass, and then it is broken along that line, something that's been going on for centuries. The next step was important. The original glass was frosted, so we applied a diluted solution of hydrofluoric acid to etch the surface ever so slightly, to make it not as transparent as regular glass would be. The construction of the stained glass panels, known as glazing or leading, entails the use of H-shaped lead strips, where the glass fits into that shape. It is then soldered together for structural strength. This process has been going on similarly, the same, over the last 1,300 years. Not much really has changed since then. It's a tedious process, piece by piece, strip by strip, not unlike putting a puzzle together. Once the stained glass panel has been fabricated and soldered on both sides, the next step Puttying or cementing is crucial. We use a specialized oil-based putty and force it between the lead came and the glass itself. This provides weatherproofing, rigidity, and strength to the overall panel. Once the panel has been puttied and cleaned thoroughly, a zinc oxide coating is applied to the leads to ensure durability for the gold leaf. Gold leafing or gilding was developed in ancient Egypt, with techniques for beating gold into thin, foil-like sheets appeared as early as 3000 BCE. The actual gilding process includes an oil-based size or varnish applied over the surface needed. When the size reaches a slight tack, the gold leaf is carefully laid in place and gently pressed with a pounce pad or a soft bristle brush. Final cleanup of the glass around the lead overlays is an important part in the overall finished product. Once the 65 replacement panels were fully completed, each one fitted with meticulously formed lead overlays and gilded with gold leaf on both the interior and exterior surfaces, we were finally ready for reinstallation. Every detail had been checked, every solder joint inspected, and every gilded surface carefully burnished to ensure consistency with the original craftsmanship. With the studio work behind us, the focus shifted back to the building itself, where preparation was just as important as fabrication. The work site was cleaned to a pristine condition, presenting itself almost like a newly constructed space awaiting its first reveal. Access to the large bronze frame positioned on the second floor mezzanine provided straightforward and allowed the installation to proceed efficiently. One by one, the restored panels were carefully lifted into position and secured with bronze moldings and brass screws, each fastener tightened with deliberate care. As the final panel was set into place, the transformation was unmistakable. When completed, the overall effect was nothing short of breathtaking. Light once again filtered through the glass, illuminating the gilded leaded details and restoring the depth, brilliance, and dignity the windows possessed on their opening day. The exterior shimmered with renewed grandeur, reflecting both the building's historic significance and the artistry invested in its revival. We are deeply proud to have played a role in continuing the life of this important structure, helping to ensure its beauty endures for generations to come. Thanks for watching. If you're finding this helpful, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos. If you have any questions or comments, you can contact us at mm@mezalick.com. Enjoy!